Hey everyone, it's Carol at Big Cat Rescue. And this handsome boy who's swimming here is TJ the tiger. My phone's telling me there's a network error. Looking for you guys on my phone because I haven't figured out how to do this from my computer yet. Oh, look at that. 280 of you already. My goodness. I gotta get going here. And I'm trying to read your comments. Hi, Tammy. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dominic and Christine and Carlos and Susan and Sue and Akun and Nicole. Good afternoon, wherever you are. And Diane, hi from Michigan. Blanca, he is beautiful, isn't he? He's just gorgeous. You know, the only thing, this is one of the Explorer.org live webcams, and you guys can find all of our webcams at bigcatrescue.org/cams. And the only thing I don't like about this camera is that TJ really loves to get up in this corner here where it says, over there, where it says watch live, and there's like all this fencing right there in the way. And I really wish I had been able to tell when we were putting these cameras up exactly what the field of view was going to be at the time that we hung them. We almost need like a big rotating arm out there, but I'd need like a controller from my desk to be able to make sure that it was always over the right area for the cats. This fence is actually what separates TJ, who you see swimming here, from Hoover, the tiger. And that's why there's double layers of ugliness on that fence, is because we don't want them to get a paw or a tail or an ear or anything else through and have the other cat grab them. So we have to do that double row. I do love how they play in the pool, absolutely. If I could ask you guys to do me a huge favor, please share this live feed with your friends and family right now. And if you haven't liked us yet, please like us. Maybe even choose to see us first. You can do that when you hit the like button at the top. I think if you just hold it down or maybe click on it, it'll bring up a little drop down box that says see this content first. And if you do that, then whenever we're live, you guys will see us first. In fact, you'll see us first all the time whenever you go to check out your feed. And so I'm assuming that the reason that you're here is because you love cats and you don't want to miss any big cats. So it's a great way for you to get your big cat fix during the day. We're going to have a giveaway. I have my question already picked out. And today the giveaway will be for your pick, any t-shirt in our store. Our store is at bigcatrescue.biz. And you can pick out any t-shirt there that you like, or tank top, or any of the shirts. So any shirt at bigcatrescue.org that you like will be given to the winner. And the way we choose the winner is the first person to type the correct answer in the comment section. And I'll try to watch for the first answer, or at least first right answer that I see, but it's not always the first person that I see on my phone, because for some reason Facebook doesn't always timestamp them the same as what I'm seeing. So we'll do the best that we can with that. Wow, hi from London and Arkansas. And from Waco, Texas. Thank you, Regina, for sharing. And Alyssa, thank you for sharing. Hey, Sandy from England. Oh no, your batteries are dying. That's terrible. That's actually why I'm doing this from my computer right now. This is all live footage from this morning of the cats, and sorry, I'm getting text messages. All day I've been thinking, man, I want to go out there with my stabilizer and get some footage for you guys, and I can't get it to charge. It's been plugged into the wall for a couple of days, and that's not working. So I tried a different outlet, and that seems to be working a little better, but it's taking a ridiculously long time to charge. This beauty is Nikita Lioness and her big yellow ball. Heather, hello from Texas Woodlands, and thank you for sharing. And Liz from Boston, and Pete from Naples, and Elaine from North Carolina. Hey, Helena Garcia from Miami, Florida. I hope you guys did okay with the storm. I don't think it hit Miami quite as bad as it hit Daytona going on north, but man, St. Augustine and Jacksonville, they really got slammed. Oh, Julie, I'm so sorry it's not letting you share. I don't know what might be causing that. Lynn has 10 cats. I don't know how you get anything done if you have 10 cats. I have one cat, and that cat takes up a lot of time with feeding and cleaning and brushing and nail trimming and asking him not to harass the dog, hiding from him when he hides in my bathtub and leaps out at me. We play this little game where he leaps out of the bathtub and just scares the living daylights out of me in the morning. But if he catches me, then it's on. And we will chase each other through the house until we're both breathing so hard we can't hardly stand it. Mary Lee, thank you for sharing from California. And Stephanie, thank you for mentioning LSU. For those who don't know, LSU's Tiger Mike the Sixth, who is really the 7th Tiger. I don't know why they call him Mike the Sixth, but that poor cat has cancer, and they don't expect him to live more than a month or two longer. And so we really hoped that this time LSU would listen to animal lovers who have been contacting them for years, asking them not to get cubs and take them out to the games, because that's just not an appropriate way to treat a tiger. They're not meant to be props. And they've ignored us every year, and every time they get a new mic, they get it from some god-awful backyard breeder. And so there's in the comments here, or the description of this live feed, there is a URL called 0, like the number 0, lsutigers.com. So it's an easy one to remember, 0lsutigers.com. And if you go there, you'll find a letter that we would like for you to send to the staff at LSU to let them know that this is a barbaric and antiquated practice, and to please not to honor Mike and honor the fact that this cat is dying by not going out and getting another cub. You know, they're wanting to make the excuse that they're rescuing a cat, but if you look at the last 2 places they got tigers from, one of them was Animal House, which is where Mickey the cougar came from. And if you remember Mickey's story, that was where the lady was feeding the domestic dogs and cats to her big cats, and she fed a Doberman to a leopard, and the Doberman fought for its life and managed to nearly tear the leopard's arm off. And then she didn't give it any medical treatment that anybody knew about. Her volunteers said they never saw a vet see the cat. Her vets said they never saw the cat. And so for 2 years, that cat had this big, open, awful, rotting wound on its arm until it finally died. And we had been trying for 2 years to get that cat out of there and couldn't get any of the government agencies to do anything about it. So what happens in a case like that, you think, well, that's good that that one tiger at least got out of Animal House. But the bad thing is people like Carolyn Thompson, or I'm sorry, not Carolyn Thompson, I love Carolyn Thompson, Carolyn Atchison, who ran Animal House, would then tell people, well, you know, when we have cats, we send them to LSU and to places like that. And so it gives them a feather in their cap to be able to continue to fool the public about what kind of people they are. One of the other places that LSU got their tigers from was a place called Great Cats of Indiana. And if you guys know what corn cribs are, they're these little round cages that you put corn in, and it airs out the corn. And those were the cages that they had, in some cases, 2 and 3 cats living in those things together. Tigers and cougars, and I mean, just unbelievably filthy conditions. And it was a place that was so bad that USDA actually shut it down. And you have to be like the worst of the worst for USDA to do anything. So those are the kinds of places LSU has to get their cats from, because no legitimate zoo or legitimate sanctuary is ever going to send a tiger into a situation where it's a prop at a school. So for them to say that they're going to rescue a cat, it's just what they're telling themselves and their alumni to try and justify the fact that they want a tiger as a prop. So please go to zerolsutigers.com and send a letter to let them know that that's no way to treat a cat. Hi, Helena. This is Kali Tiger, and you may have seen her earlier. She was walking with one of our keepers, Desmond, and that's Mary Lou coming up behind Desmond right now. She was just walking around the cage, and the reason she was so interested in them is that tomorrow we start 3 days of Panicure. And Panicure is a type of dewormer that we give the cats when they have tougher worms than the regular worms they get. So every month the cats get ivermectin, and it's just a one-time dose, and it takes care of ear mites, but it also takes care of the typical types of worms that they get from fleas, tapeworms, that sort of thing. But when the cats eat lizards or turtles or birds or possums or whatever they catch out there, snakes. In fact, Anasazi caught and ate a snake this morning. And a couple days ago, Nirvana, maybe yesterday, Nirvana the ocelot caught and ate a possum. So they get these nasty types of worms and liver flukes and all kinds of things from those types of animals that they catch on their own. And so every quarter, the cats have to get 3 days of Panicure. And it's like this white powder, and the cats hate it. Absolutely hate it. And so what we have to do the day before is to withhold food, and then on Monday morning when they get fed, they're so hungry they'll eat it no matter what. So we'll at least get 1 dose of it into them. Some of our cats are so old and so poorly because they're so old that they have to get fed today anyway. But a lot of the bigger cats that could go a day without eating are all like, I'm sure somebody is supposed to come around here and feed me. And that's why Kali was walking around with her keeper like, hey, anything good in that bucket? Back to TJ here. He was going back and forth, checking in on Hoover. I'm glad we have some vets on here, because Nancy Allen tells us what Panicure is for. It's for roundworms and hookworms. Thank you, Nancy Allen. Jane, thank you. This is a hakule, and it is frequently worn by the, I think it's Indonesian tribes, as a celebration of life. And my daughter got it for me probably 15 years ago, and it's all like dried flowers, so I love it. I can't wear it outside a whole lot because I sweat like crazy out there, and I'm afraid that it would just damage the dried flowers. We had no damage from Hurricane Matthew. We were very, very fortunate. Helena, thank you for commenting that you did actually send the letter even though you're not from the United States. The one to LSU does not require that you be a citizen of the U.S., so anybody can sign that. Tina, no, they were not jailed, as horrible of a situation as that was. I'm going to go to a different screen back here, and I hope I don't lose you. Give me just a minute here. Sorry about that. Okay, can you guys still hear me? I hope so. This is beautiful Nikita, Nikita Lioness. And you might notice that it's windy. You can see the wind behind her, and it causes the camera to shake. And the other thing that causes, this is a webcam that's way up in the corner, all the way across her yard from her, but she's so big that when she leans against the cage, even though she's, I don't know, a long way, 100 feet? I don't know. She's way, way back there. Even though when she leans up against the cage, she makes the whole cage shake. And stupidly, I had the camera mounted to the cage itself, whereas on all of the other, well, most of the other webcams are mounted on a pole or something that's a little bit more stationary. So I apologize for the shaking in her cage. Oh good, you can still hear. Well, isn't that interesting? We have two Nancy Allens. And this one says Panicure is also known as, oh dear, it's a medical term, fenbendazole, and is a member of the anthelmintics class of drugs that kill parasitic worms in animals. Panicure is available over the counter, but should only be given to your cat under the advice of a veterinarian, which of course we do. Dawn, the ivermectin, I mean, any kind of dewormer is poison, but it's better than having worms. So our cats live a long time here, and we have to attribute that to the veterinary care that they get, which includes all of the deworming. Nicola asked for a big shout out. Is this big enough, Nicola? Are you guys going to watch the presidential debate? Since I'm on Big Cat Rescue's page, I can't tell you how I voted, but I vote by mail, and I voted yesterday. It's going to be a tough election. Oh, Lauren says that the timing of flowers is perfect because it's Renaissance season. I love those Renaissance fairs. Elizabeth doesn't like the wreath. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I love it. It reminds me to celebrate life. In fact, today I did a guided meditation for 45 minutes with Lillian Eden, and it's available on YouTube. It's free. And if you want to get in touch with your inner spirit and feel the love of the universe, I would definitely recommend that one. It's one of her newest ones. If you just go to youtube.com and search for Lillian Eden, just like the Garden of Eden, I'm sure you'll find her latest videos. Dawn says she's going to watch the debate. Lauren says we're all doomed. That's so weird that we have two Nancy Allens. You know, I just never realized that you guys were two different people. Elizabeth, our workers have not been attacked by any of the cats here since back in the 90s. And back then, we didn't have the rules in place that we do today. And so one of the rules is that if you're a red shirt, which this woman was, you're never allowed to be on the property by yourself. And they're in that red shirt for 6 months until they take a bunch of tests and can prove to us that they're not going to do anything stupid. I read in the newspaper about a place in Florida that's announcing that they just got a baby jaguar and a baby cougar, and you should book your playtime now because they're getting older by the day. And it just frosted me that this place has brought in a jaguar cub, which is an endangered species, from Arizona, and is pimping it out in these pay-to-play sessions. And so I sent a letter to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and I said, tell me how that is helping conservation, because you're not supposed to be able to buy endangered species across state lines unless somehow the work that you're doing is saving the animal in the wild. And I also asked the Florida Wildlife Commission to see a copy of the import permit because I'd like to know who it is in Arizona that they got the cub from. I know jaguars, even adult jaguars, will sell for more than $7,000, and I know this particular person paid more than $7,000 for some of her previous jaguar cubs, or they weren't even cubs, they were adults. So I've got to think that the cubs are even more expensive. And yet, you know, these people are smart enough not to deal in checks or credit cards. They'll deal in cash. I don't know that for sure in her case, but it is very common in the industry. And it's just wrong. These guys shouldn't be bred and ripped away from their moms and then sold across state lines just to be used as pay-to-play props. Joanne Dolce, Jamie and Justin are actually flying through Paris on their way home. I don't think they're stopping there other than in the airport. They're not going anywhere in Paris, but I saw that that was their flight plan. So they've already left South Africa. I know they went to some big cat places there, but I don't know if Moria was one of them. It would be great if it was, but I don't think so. Caroline, this is why I am meditating. She said, how do you cope with this stuff? How it would just make me crazy. And it's the reason that I'm listening to some of these guided meditations, because I really believe that whatever we think about is what we bring into our reality. And I don't want to be thinking about cubs being ripped from their moms and sold to these backyard pay-to-play pimps. I don't want to think about cubs being taken from their moms so that they can be sent to LSU to live in a cage where you've got a bunch of college kids poking at them all day long. I don't want to think about those things, and I don't want to bring those things into my life, but I can't know about those things and not do anything. So I'm really trying to cope with, how do I effectively protect all of these amazing animals without drawing more of that bad action into my life and into their lives, which is what really matters. Doesn't matter how I feel about it. What matters is, what are those cubs going through? What are those mothers going through that are having their cubs constantly ripped away from them and being speed bred just for the use of those cubs? Yeah, Nancy talked about somebody who had a cub, and of course, you know, all these people can play with them while they're cubs, and even to the first couple of years, they're full grown in size, but they look like cubs. They look like adults, but they're still mentally cubs, and so they can be handled that long. But then they end up being relegated to backyards and basements when they're not fun or ego props any longer. I think Nikita is about to pass out on us here. Excuse me while I move her up a bit. There you go. Good thing I work out, because she's like 500 pounds. Diane Herman, I'm so glad you got your calendar and that you love it. I think you won that, didn't you? So, speaking of winning, and since we're losing our cat here, the question is, first person in the comment section, and I'll have to go back and check by date stamp, but the first person in the comment section to tell me this lion, Nikita Lion, her date of birth, and I want the year, day, and month. So the whole date of birth. Hey, Maggie from Scotland. Jane's not kidding. It does not take long for Nikita to pass out. She is beautiful, isn't she, Elaine? Thomas, the reason you don't see jaguars or cheetahs in most sanctuaries is because they command such a high price, even as adults, in the the black market and in the trade of rich people who want them as ego props. So they almost never end up being rescued by sanctuaries. Barb Colvin says she loves the hat that she won. Jane Nelson said February 3rd, 2001, and she is correct. So that's the first person that I have seen get it right. I will go back, and we have a winner now. So I'll go back and make sure there wasn't anybody time stamped ahead of her, because I see Rachel Weiss has the same time, or the same date, and Suzanne Messna has the same date, and Mallory got it right, and Elaine got it right, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to find Jane Nelson got it right first, because she seems to be pretty high up here on the list ahead of everybody else. So thank you very much. Hopefully my stabilizer will charge up and I can actually walk around and get you some videos of the cats out there as they sleep away. It's 88 degrees, so you know they're out there sleeping. Again, if you would please share this feed with your friends and your family. Please go to the number, why can't I say that right? The number 0, lsutigers.com, 0lsutigers.com, and send a letter to LSU asking them to honor Mike and the fact that he is losing his fight with cancer by not replacing him with another cub. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.